Welcome back to BlastmanXS Gaming for another Division 2 tutorial video.
Okay, settings.
Hello agents, today we're in the shooting range for a couple of demos and we're going to take a look at some game settings that you may or may not like or may not be aware of. And please comment down below if you've used these settings or if there are other settings that I may have missed. Alright, let's get into it. So let's start with the HUD. That's the heads-up display. Right, so we're going to user interface, and you'll notice that my heads-up display may look a little bit differently than yours. It's because I moved some items around. Now I have this is layout 1, so you can have 3 different layouts here, and layout number 2 and 3 probably look the way yours do. This is out of the box. The mini map is in the top left with the difficulty level there, the conflict menu top middle, the levels the top right, and then the projects or wherever you're tracking on screen is underneath of your shade level. And then you get the killing spree indicators. The bottom right has the group members, and the bottom left has the chat window. So go over to mine here. I moved my projects or tracking items to the top left because it's not really as important as other items that I want to have front and center when I'm playing, such as the mini-map. Now, taking the mini-map and putting it in the bottom center, you see where it is, right there. It just gives me a heads up, and your eyes don't have far to go. You don't have to keep looking to the top left to see where the enemies are or the objectives. It's just right there, right in front of you. And I've strategically put it just below the status effects or buffs that you see under the armor and skills, right there. Here it is zoomed in. Here it is on the left shoulder. So that's the minimap placement on the HUD. And if you want to move any of these, you can. Let's just go to layout 2, and I'll use keyboard. So here we go. W is to select, and you notice there's an orange line around this kill spree box here, and we can go up to this is the project or wherever you're tracking, and you can put that wherever you like, what suits you, right? And this is the, I guess, the death location indicator, and then you can click on these as well, or you can scroll through using where it says cycle selection up and down, and you can move them around the screen wherever you like. And you also have the option for a lot of these to scale up and down. So we'll just do that. We'll use the equal sign and the minus sign to scale down. So we'll just make it a little bit smaller. I don't know that we need a really big indicator there. That's still in the center of the screen. And like I did with my mini map, I just grabbed it here, and you'll see what comes with it. And I moved it over here, sort of the center. Put it where you like, but I feel that that's a good spot there. The text window, I mean, that's just okay there. It's got opacity, so you can see through it. And the group members, I just moved it really just all the way down to the bottom right, so it's out of the way, but you can still reference it pretty quickly. And then we moved the project to wherever you're tracking up there. We can move the shade level up there, and you can also move this over here if you like, but you can test it out, see what works for you. I mean, you might want this kill spree over here. And that's it for the heads-up display. All right, let's go back to the settings. We'll look at the audio menu first. Master volume controls all of the sounds in the game, whether that be in-game voice chat or music or sound effects or what have you. This is the overall volume of the game. Now I've had the music on at some point. I turned it down to 0 because For me, it's really not how I like to play listening to music. Sometimes I'll turn it on, especially when you're playing Summit or somewhere you might have rogues more often. You like to hear the music, or you want to hear it for the storyline effect. You can go ahead and turn that music up, but I turn it off. Now, sound effects. Now, the reason why I turned it down 25% is because I play with other friends and teammates, and I use Discord, so I want to be able to hear what they're saying, especially when we're running a mission. We're trying to communicate to get through that mission, so I lowered the sound effects to 25%. And the dialogue as well. I mean, you listen to Paul Rhodes or Manny or even Kelso and Isaac through the dialogue, and it gets quite repetitive after a time. I lowered it to 20%. You can hear what's being said, but it's not super loud, and it doesn't overtake the rest of the volume in the game, and you can still hear your friends and what's going on. Now I run a headset, so that's why I have headphones there. Let's see, mute audio when focus is lost. No, I don't need that. Disable VoIP. No. Group volume. Now this is in-game group volume, not Discord. It's not related to that whatsoever, but I just put it to 90%. Proximity volume controls the volume of incoming voice chat of nearby players. Microphone enabled, yes. This controls the volume of the player's voice input, similar to gain control as well. But this is when your mic picks up your voice in the game, so you can control that. Maybe you can mitigate some background noise that way. Push to talk, I have that turned on because, like I said, I use Discord a lot, so I use push to talk. But if I'm playing with other agents in the game that are not in Discord, I'll just turn that off and use the in-game voice chat. Mute photo mode audio, I don't find that necessary. You're taking photos, once in a while. Dark zone VoIP channel all, and boost audio feedback on target hit. Yes, this is somewhat satisfying, especially when you get those headshots and you want to hear that distinct headshot kill sound. This is something you want to keep on. Moving on to controls, mouse sensitivity, mouse smoothing, swapping buttons, gamepad. If you're using a gamepad, you can increase the sensitivity of the sticks there. Now the scope sensitivity modifier, that's key. Now this, we'll just look at it right here. So for example, if I'm scoped in and I want to be able to move around and acquire new targets or see what's around, that's controlled by that setting right there, where it controls the speed to move this. Settings there. Right, so that scope sensitivity modifier, gamepad vibration, don't really like that. It's not something, especially playing after a certain amount of time and everything is causing the controller to vibrate. It's not that fun. Button layout, you could just leave that normal. Dead zone, leave that 0, 0. Disable gamepad, no. XY access, no. We'll sprint. Enable auto run, yes. So you can push down the left stick and you can run that way. Parkour, I like to control what I'm jumping over and what I'm running past myself, so I turned that off, and I also turned off the parkour during auto run. Now, movement can exit cover is on. Yes, because if we're in cover, we want to be able to manually get out of cover. We don't want to have to be forced to do a cover to cover or a vault or jump over an item to get out of cover. Move around cover with button press. No, I don't need to do that. I use the stick, and you can use the keys, WASD, to move around the map or interact. Move around corner speed, you want to go fast because you'll be in some missions, some situations where there's a chunga or some other enemy that's basically playing Ring Around the Rosie with you, and you want to be able to quickly get around a corner so you don't get hit. So I'd recommend putting this on fast. Cancel skill when aiming. No, I'd like my skills to be controlled by me, not by other actions that I do. Enter cover on long press. Now this is a very important one. Now if you have this off and you want to go into cover, as soon as you hit that that button to go into cover, or as soon as you tap it in any way, you'll go directly into cover. So sometimes you might get stuck on a wall or stuck on some object in the world, and you really don't want to, and you're trying to either get away from somebody or get a different position to acquire new targets. So I recommend the long press, and I can demonstrate that here. So we see that the A is on the wall there, and if I just tap that, it's not doing anything, it's not going into cover. But if I hold it, it's going into cover, and I move the gamepad to get out of cover. Graphics, minor custom, again, entirely up to your system configuration and preferences. Video, pause here, we'll go back to video. So video, again, another one of those things that's entirely up to your preferences and your system that you're running on. So combat scrolling, so random sphere, and I think 2D was the other option. So let's take a look at random sphere. This is see, it's really not easy to see in my opinion. You can't really tell what you're doing, and it does really get in the way of your target when you're trying to take them. So we'll do 2D, just a demo here. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so they're just randomly falling down away from the target. I mean, it looks kind of funky, but it's not really helpful in my. So we'll set that back to floating. Okay, raid speedrun user interface. Yeah, that's fun if you're running raids. You can see the timers there. Activate talents about crosshairs. Yep. Loot being visible. Yes. If you have a loot drop, you want to be able to go back and find it after your finished combat. Key mapping. Nothing changed there. Gameplay. Now I just left it as metric. That's what the game came with, so I just left it there. Vault indicators, cover indicators. Yeah, these are helpful. Yeah, vault indicators and cover indicators. These are helpful if you want to go cover to cover, or you want to know where you can take cover or where you can jump over. Very helpful to have on. On-call status. This is for shepherding, so you can receive calls for backup, and you can go help other agents. So you can set that to all calls, friends and client only, or none at all. Yeah, so Isaac just said backup request denied when I turned it to no or none. Auto hide the heads up display. So when you're in combat, you're really not looking at those heads up items. You're focused on the mission in front of you. Reticle thickness, that's for the weapon reticle when you're aiming. Opacity, hints, I mean, you can turn those off. They get annoying after a while, but if you're new to the game, you can leave the hints on. Damage numbers, yep, as we said before, where the damage numbers are displayed, but this is to turn them off completely if you want to. This is turning on and off the mini map. Connectivity info, it shows you what server you're connected to in the social menu. Player level visible, that's the top right of your screen, as we saw when I went through the heads up. Shows your shade level. Chat window chat window opacity, language filter. This is, you know, if you have kids or if kids playing, you can set this to yes, where it'll sort of stop the curse words and bad words and phrases that come out of the bad guys around the world that you're fighting. Menu glitch. I mean, this is just, they're just effects there. Automatic group refill. I prefer to fill groups as I see fit, not let the game do it. You know, someone from your clan or some other friend might be online and you want to get them into the group when a spot becomes available. So you want to turn this off so you can do that manually. Unassign item notifications. Show skills and group frame. Now this is good because you can see what other group members are running as far as skills, so you can really work together to have a better team, so you're not running overlapping skills, because as we know, one status effect can only be applied at one time. You can't overlap status effects, and case in point would be the pulse. If two people are running pulse and one person tries to do a jammer pulse after the other player, the second one will not take effect. All right, numeric skill cooldowns, like that. Tells you how many seconds until your skill is ready. GPS line might not be so accurate, but it does help. Gives you the basic general direction of where you want to go to your next checkpoint. Now these two here are very important. This is additional field of vision and additional field of vision while aiming. So we see here that I can pretty much see the whole shooting range, and I'm aiming and I can still see a lot there, and even when I'm scoped in I can still see a lot. So for a dramatic effect, I'm going to go to the settings there. And I'm going to change this to, let's just say 10 and 10. Right, so now the field of view is a little bit less. And then when I aim, it's a little bit less. When I scope, it's a little bit less. So you see a 389 on the right, 390. All right, let's keep an eye on that. Let's bring this all the way up, bring this all the way up. And you see that we can see just a little bit more, and we're zoomed in, we see a little bit more. And now we're scoped in and we can see the full time to kill indicator, not just part of it. So this gives you more field of view, so you can see more targets and what's going on around you rather than having a tunnel vision gameplay. Definitely two recommended items there. There's a accessibility item here that I use and some other players use. I recommend it, but it's entirely up to you. It's the colorblind mode. So deuteranopia, and if I'm saying that correctly or not, let me know, but that's the way I say it. And what this does is it's for colorblind, so people with color blindness have trouble seeing reds and greens, and you can see this when we're doing the grenade here. So you'll see that there are white rings around this grenade, right? See the area of effect there. And when I throw these seekers, the seekers will create white rings as well, showing you the area of effect. Now if I go to accessibility, right, and I go to that colorblind mode and I say none, and I get a grenade, I don't see the white rings, but I do see the red area, which may be difficult for people with color blindness to see. But even though someone is not colorblind, having those white rings around there makes it a lot easier to see where the area of effect is, especially when it comes to healer hives or anything like that. You want to be able to see that. And I'll just demonstrate the use of the mine as well. You no longer see the circles, the white rings, but you do see the red circles. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And let me know in the comments if this was helpful or if there are any settings that I may have missed. And I'll catch you in the next one.